It's game number 24 of the Xenia Scouts 2017 season here in Richmond, Indiana, as the Scouts will take on the Richmond Jazz here for a 2-0, well, it's supposed to be 2:05, going to be about 2:08 first pitch. Gabe Genovesi here with you on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network this afternoon. Andrew Alex out once again today. He will be back with us on Tuesday as the Scouts are off tomorrow. The Scouts come into this contest 12-11 after the 4-3 victory last night here in Richmond. The Scouts got 4 runs in the first 3 innings and held off the Jazz despite a 3-run home run by Daniel Sepik in the 8th inning. Landon Williams came in and closed out the rest of the 8th and the 9th for the Scouts, and Xenia got a victory to get back above 500. The Jazz come in 13-9 today, and if you are a little confused by that, it's because the Jazz were 12-8 yesterday. The Scouts, of course, hand them a loss. That makes them 12-9. But Lorain County and these Richmond Jazz had a game to make up, and apparently Lorain County just forfeited that game. So the Jazz pick up an extra win. They're 13-9 and in first place in the Southern Division. The Scouts in 4th place in the division, but 4 teams separated by a game and a half coming into this one. So a win this afternoon for the Scouts would put them within half a game of the Richmond Jazz. The 2nd place Steam and the 3rd place Copperheads play tonight at 6:05. So that'll be a game to keep an eye on if you're a Scouts fan. Ben Beachy will lead it off today for the Scouts, followed by Aaron Takis and Jordan Lambert, the 1-2-3 hitters for Xenia. Kyle Casserly, Donald Ring, and Chris Ackerman, the 4, 5, 6 spots. Caden Owens, Ange Bourgeois, and Francisco Andina round out the lineup for the Scouts. Anthony Krokos on the mound for the Jazz. First pitch, chopped toward 3rd. Burkholder charging, picks it up, makes the play, and that is Sepik over there at 3rd for the Jazz. Almost like a swinging bunt for Ben Beachy on the first pitch of the game. Sepik makes a nice play, fires across the diamond, 1 away. Anthony Krokos on the mound for the Jazz as Aaron Takis steps in on the left side. Krokos a 9.48 ERA, 1-0 in 6 appearances this season. Opponents bat .314 against Anthony Krokos. The first pitch to Takis. Fastball outside, 1-0. Krokos 12 1/3 innings pitched, 16 hits given up, 13 runs, all of them have been earned. 8 walks and 6 strikeouts for Krokos. The 1-0 pitch. Fastball in at the knees, strike 1. So not a lot of punch-out stuff for Anthony Krokos. Only 6 strikeouts through 12 1/3. Now the 1-1 to Takis. Fastball, line drive. That's going to get down in left field. Takis will round first. He'll head for 2. A stand-up double for Aaron Takis here with 1 out in the top of the first. And the Scouts have a runner in scoring position here with 1 out in the first inning. Aaron Takis, who had a good game yesterday as well, 2 for 4 with an RBI single, gets his first hit of the day here in the top half of the first inning. And that'll bring up Jordan Lambert for the Scouts. That was Aaron Takis' first extra base hit of the year. A double down the left field line off of Anthony Krokos. And in steps Jordan Lambert. He will also bat from the left side. The first pitch, fastball, fouled off behind the plate, 0-1. That's something that Jordan Lambert loves to do. Jump on that first pitch fastball. If you give him anything in the zone, he's going to jump at that first pitch. Lambert waves the bat above his back shoulder. The 0-1 pitch. In on the hands of Lambert. He pops it up. Foul territory toward the on-deck circle of the Scouts. Sepik at 3rd cannot get there. Lambert's behind in the count, 0-2. Jordan Lambert, the 2nd most hits on this Xenia Scouts team with 23, a .284 batting average. Does have 12 RBIs on the year. That's 2nd on the Xenia Scouts team as well. Krokos ahead in the count, 0-2 on Lambert. Takis leads off 2nd. No score here in the top of the first inning. 1 down for Xenia. Krokos now steps off after Taking about 7 or 8 seconds to get the sign. Lambert awaits the 0-2. Kroko sets the delivery. Fastball grounded foul down the first base line. Will stay at 0-2. Jordan Lambert 0 for 4 yesterday. His struggles continued against the Richmond Jazz. He's now 2 for 18 with a couple of walks in 5 games against Richmond. The 0-2 pitch. Fastball swung on and missed on the outside corner. And Lambert's struggle continue here against Richmond. 2 down here in the first. Anthony Krokos gets his first strikeout of the day, and in steps Kyle Casterly for Xenia. Casterly had himself a day yesterday. 3 for 4 with a 2 RBI double in the third inning. Was nearly 4 for 4 as the first pitch to Cass is a fastball just outside 1-0. Casterly got robbed of a hit in left field by Jordan Stacy last night. Stacy laid out, moving back toward the left field wall. Cass was nearly 4 for 4. The 1-0 pitch, off speed, low and away. Takis will move to third as that ball was in the dirt. They count 2-0 on Kyle Casterly, and now Aaron Takis represents the first run of this ball game, is 90 feet away. Only the second afternoon game this season for the Xenia Scouts. And when I say afternoon, I mean 2 o'clock game. We've had a couple 4s as well. 2-0 pitch. Fastball chopped towards second. Wilson fields it on a couple hops, flips to first. And that'll do it here in the first for the Scouts. So Takis, despite the double, is stranded at third. We head to the bottom half of the first. No score between the Scouts and the Jazz. You're listening to Xenia Scouts Baseball on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. To the home half of the first inning we go here at McBride Stadium in Richmond, Indiana. The Scouts, despite a 1-out double from Aaron Takis, leave him on third. Don't get a run across in the top half of the first inning. Cole Parks will lead it off today for the Richmond Jazz, followed by Mitch Wilson and Daniel Sepik, the 1-2-3 hitters. Andrew Check in the cleanup spot for Richmond, followed by Bill Krul and Eric Connor in the 5-6 holes. Jordan Gillerman, Jack Holden, and Brad Burkholder rounded out for the Jazz this afternoon. The first pitch to Parks, lined foul. Down the first base line, 0-1. John Kopicki on the mound today for the Xenia Scouts. Kopicki, a 4.65 ERA. 2-0 in 4 appearances for the Scouts this season. The 0-1 to Parks. Fastball, he went around despite it being high and tight. 0-2. Opponents bat .250 against John Kopicki. Kopicki working quickly here in the first. The 0-2 pitch, curveball, skied high, foul territory. Casually pursuing, and he made the grab. Cole Parks has retired for the first time today. 1 away. And that brings up Mitch Wilson for the Richmond Jazz. Kopicki, 19 in the third innings pitched this year. 15 runs, only 10 of them earned, though. Has not had some help at times out in the infield. The first pitch to the lefty, Mitch Wilson. Fastball misses below the knees, 1-0. Kopicki as well, a 1.55 whip. Walks plus hits per innings pitched. The pitch, off speed, catches the outside corner, 1-1. Mitch Wilson, the most hits on this Richmond Jazz team with 33. Bats .347 from the left side. The 1-1 pitch. Fastball high at the eyes, 2-1. Wilson, one of the Jazz that came through in yesterday's game, despite Richmond only gathering 6 hits. That fastball catches the outside corner, 2-2. Mitch Wilson was 2 for 3 with a walk yesterday. He's now 8 for 19 against Scouts pitching on the year in 5 games with 3 RBIs. The 2-2 pitch, fastball blooped foul down the third baseline. We'll do 2-2 all over again. Wilson taps the outside of the plate, adjusts his helmet. The bat rests on his back shoulder. The 2-2 pitch, fastball fouled off behind, will stay at 2-2. Around the diamond for the Scouts today, Aaron Takis at the hot corner. Joey Roddy getting a rest today. Ben Beachy at short, back in action after sitting out yesterday. His right knee bothering him a little bit. The 2-2 pitch, curveball, just misses below the knees. Oh, Ackerman pump fake to third, ready to throw it around the diamond, as that one just missed. And the count is full to Mitch Wilson. Ange Bourgeois at second base for the Scouts. Casserly over at first. The 3-2 pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3 on a fastball outside. John Kopicki gets his first strikeout of the afternoon, and there's 2 away here in the first. Daniel Sepik will now step to the plate for the Jazz. To finish out the Scouts in the field, Chris Ackerman behind the plate tonight for Xenia. Jordan Lambert in left, Francisco Andina in center, Caden Owens in right field. The curveball to Sepik misses high and away, 1-0. Daniel Sepik, a .292 hitter. Talk about impacts made yesterday. Sepik, as that pitch catches the knees, 1-1. Well, he was the run support for the Jazz last night. Scouts win 4-3, the 3 runs for the Jazz, a 3-run home run by Daniel Sepik. The 1-1 pitch misses low and away, 2-1. That was Sepik's second home run of the year. RBIs 19, 20, and 21 for Daniel Sepik. He bats from the right side. The 2-1 pitch, curveball, whiffed at, 2-2. Kopicki got Sepik to chase there as that pitch ended up outside in the lefty's batter's box. Now John Kopicki's a strike away from a 1-2-3 inning. The pitch, fastball, bounces about 3 feet in front of the plate. We'll stay at 3-2. Daniel Sepik with the 2 hits last night. Now on a little 4-game hit streak. His 9th multi-hit game of the year. The pitch, swung on and missed, strike 3. Kopicki got Sepik to chase on some off-speed. 1-2-3 go the Jazz. 2 strikeouts for John Kopicki. And we'll head to the second. No score here in Richmond. You're listening to Xenia Scouts Baseball on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. We head to the top half of the second inning here at McBride Stadium in Richmond, Indiana. No score between the Xenia Scouts and the Richmond Jazz, as Donald Ring will lead it off for the Scouts here in the second, followed by Chris Ackerman and Caden Owens, the 4, 5, 6 hitters due up for the Scouts here in the second inning. The first pitch to Ring, swung on, line drive. That ball's going to land in left. A good play by Burkholder to cut it off in left field. Ring has to hold up at first. A long single for Donald Ring, but after a hitless day yesterday, he'll take it. And the Scouts have their leadoff runner aboard here in the second. The second hit of the day for the Xenia Scouts after the Takis double in the first inning. Takis ended up getting stranded on third. Let's see what Xenia can do here in the second as Chris Ackerman steps in. He'll bat from the right side. Ackerman, a .271 hitter on the year, was not in the lineup yesterday as he takes the ball high, 1-0. Was not in the lineup yesterday against these Richmond Jazz. Ackerman on the year against the Jazz, 3 for 8 with 5 walks and 3 RBIs against Jazz pitching. Krokos throws over to first. Ring dives back safely. Anthony Krokos has not pitched yet against the Xenia Scouts. So all of those 13 plate appearances for Ackerman, not against Krokos. Now Ackerman lines one to left. That ball one hops the fence. Ring's going to go to third. Ackerman's into second with a stand-up double. Chris Ackerman's third double of the year. And the Scouts have runners on second and third with nobody down here in the second. And that'll bring up Caden Owens for the Scouts. The infield here in the second inning not coming in for Richmond. So a ground ball to the right side would score Ring from third. And, of course, anything deep in the air. The first pitch to Owens. Ground ball, base hit, right field. Ring will score. Ackerman coming around third. The throw to the plate is too late. Ring's in there standing up. A 2 RBI single for Caden Owens. And the Scouts lead 2-0 here in the second. Caden Owens, who was 0 for 4 yesterday, did not have a hit in his last 2 games, comes up big here in the second, and the Scouts have an early 2-0 lead as Ange Bourgeois steps to the plate. Bourgeois bats from the left side. Anthony Krokos takes a deep breath on the mound as he's struggling here early. The first pitch to Bourgeois, fastball, misses high and away, 1-0. And you'll notice a lot of lefties in the lineup for the Scouts today. Aaron Takis, Jordan Lambert, Kyle Casserly, Donald Ring, Caden Owens, Ange Bourgeois, and Francisco. Bourgeois fouls one off behind the plate, 1-1. So that is 7 lefties in the lineup today for the Scouts. Ben Beachy and Chris Ackerman, the only righties in the lineup for Xenia. And that is because it is only 3-11 to the right field corner here at McBride Stadium. As Krokos steps off the mound. So these lefties have a real shot at putting one out today for the Scouts. The 1-1 to Bourgeois. Owens takes off for second, and the throw is in time. Caden Owens gets caught stealing. A great throw by the catcher, Bill Cruel. And I'm not sure if it was an intentional pitch out or not, but that fastball was way high and away. And the reason I say I don't know if it was intentional is because the catcher, Cruel, didn't really pop up and wasn't set to throw down to second. He kind of caught that ball and saw Owens going unexpectedly and fired it down there. Either way, the bases are empty for the Scouts now with one away here in the second inning. 2-0, the Scouts lead to count 1-2 on Ange Bourgeois. Bourgeois waves the bat above his back shoulder. The 1-2 pitch from Krokos. Ground ball towards Check. At first, it got under the glove of Andrew Check. Bourgeois reaches for the first time today. He has now reached base in 19 of 21 games played in for the Scouts. And I believe that'll be a hit for Ange Bourgeois. He now has a hit in 12 of his last 15. And Francisco Andina comes to the plate for the Scouts with one down here in the second. Bourgeois stands on first. The pitch. Fastball swung on and missed at the knees. 0-1. Andina, a .217 hitter for the Scouts. An on-base percentage of .357 as he has 15 walks this season. That is 15th in the Great Lakes League. Krokos throws over to first. Bourgeois gets back safely. Andina has gone deep one time this summer. So the .311 porch out there in right field. Definitely a possibility for the 9-hole hitter. Andina checks his swing at an off-speed pitch outside, 0-2. To dead center, it is 4-0-2 here at McBride Stadium. 375 to left center. And 323 down the left field line. We saw Daniel Sepik for the Jazz yesterday go deep over that 323 wall. Krokos takes the sign. The 0-2 pitch. Low and in. The ball gets away from the catcher. Bourgeois taking off, and he slides in safely. Ange Bourgeois read that one well. He takes off after the ball bounces in the dirt. Count 1-2 on Francisco Andina. Bourgeois, the duck on the pond at second. And that ball never really got behind the catcher, Cruel. Just bounced to the right. And Bourgeois took the base. 1-2 on Andina. The pitch. Fastball low again. Count evens up at 2-2. Andina 1 for 4 yesterday against the Jazz with a single in the third inning. Ended up coming around to score. Andina steps out, takes his big, deep breath. Now the 2-2 pitch. Fastball fouled off behind the plate. Will stay at 2-2. Ben Vici on deck for the Scouts, the leadoff hitter today for Xenia. 2-0, the Xenia Scouts lead over the Richmond Jazz here in the top of the second. Krokos sets the 2-2 pitch. Fastball below the knees. Andina checked his swing but did not go around. The count full on the junior from Spring Arbor University. Andina in his last 5 games is 6 for 18 from the plate, so .333 from the left side. Now the 3-2 pitch. Fastball, skied high, left field, medium depth. The left fielder, Brad Burkholder, makes the play. 2 down here in the second. So a successful at bat for Andina's standpoint that he did make Krokos throw a lot of pitches. After being behind the count 0-2, he fouls a couple off, gets the count to 3-2. But Bourgeois still stands on second, and Ben Beachy to the plate. Beachy 0 for 1 today. Grounded out to the third baseman, Sepik, his first time up last inning. The first pitch. Fastball just misses off the outside corner, 1-0. Beachy, the best and most consistent hitter in the Xenia Scouts lineup. He hits .312 from the right side. 7 doubles leads the team. 17 RBIs leads the team as well. The 1-0 pitch. Fastball, he went around on a fastball inside. And Ben Beachy drops to a knee. I'm not sure if he dropped to the knee because he got fooled, or if that back right knee is hurting him a little, as he sat out yesterday with that knee injury. The 1-1 pitch. Fastball. Check swing. Fouled off. 1-2. Nothing too serious for Beachy on that right knee. Went to the doctor. They said, actually, part of the bone right there, a chip in the bone, is actually lodged in his knee. The 1-2 pitch. Off speed, misses high, 2-2. And Beachy says there's nothing they can really do about it. It's not something he needs surgery for. They said just ice it, stretch it, and rest it when you need to. The 2-2 pitch. Swung on, ground ball toward Gillerman at short. Gillerman fires across the diamond, and that'll do it for the Scouts here in the second inning. The Scouts get 2 runs on 4 hits, and they lead 2-0 as we head to the home half of the second. You're listening to Xenia Scouts Baseball on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. We head to the home half of the second inning here in Richmond. A 2-0 lead for the Xenia Scouts over the Richmond Jazz, as Andrew Check comes to the plate for the Jazz. Check followed by Bill Krul and Eric Connor, the 4, 5, 6 hitters, due up here in the second for Richmond. Check steps in from the left side. A .365 hitter. The first pitch to Check, fastball fouled off behind the plate, 0-1. And I'm curious to see if Check comes out a little more aggressive than he did yesterday, as he did not like a couple of the calls the home plate umpire made last night, and went 0 for 4 on the day. The 0-1 to Check, fastball high at the chin, 1-1. The hitless day for Andrew Check was the first one in a long time. Yesterday ended his 15-game hit streak. He still has a hit in 18 of the 20 games he's played in this year, as the curveball misses low and in, 2-1. Check, the junior from Walsh University. An all-around dangerous hitter. Second on the team in doubles with 6. First on the team in home runs with 5. Some serious power for Check. The pitch. Line drive, base hit, right field. Andrew Check says, I'm done with that hitless stuff. Sends that one into right. A leadoff single here in the second. And that'll bring up Bill Krul for the Richmond Jazz. Check did have one hard hit ball last night. A line drive to center field. Francisco Andina camped right under it. Didn't even have to move. But that was very weird seeing Andrew Check not get a hit, as he was 10 for 18 against the Scouts coming into last night. The curveball to Krul misses outside 1-0. So now Check, just to update that, 10 for 22 with a walk and 9 RBIs against the Scouts this season in 5 games. Of course, the Jazz beat the Scouts 23-8. As the 1-0 pitch from Kopicki, a curveball, just misses. Quite frankly, I do not know where, but 2-0 on Bill Krul. So in the last game of the 3-game series, these two teams played in Xenia before yesterday. The Jazz won 23-8 as the 2-0 pitch, a fastball fouled off behind the plate by Krul, 2-1. The Jazz took it 23-8. Andrew Check had a grand slam in that game. So that accounts for 4 of the 9 RBIs he has against the Scouts. He stands on first right now here with none down here in the second. That fastball misses high and inside, 3-1. Bill Krul bats from the right side, a .338 hitter, third on this Richmond Jazz team. The 3-1 from Kopicki, fastball high and in, ball 4. And the Jazz, down 2-0 here in the second, have runners on first and second with nobody down. And Eric Connor stepping to the plate. Connor, a .311 hitter, 14 for 45 on the year. He was in the lineup yesterday, went 0 for 3 against Caleb Fernholtz. And actually, he did get in at bat against Landon Williams as well. Connor also from Walsh University, along with his teammate Andrew Check, who stands on second. Takis playing a couple steps in over at third in case Connor squares the bunt. He will not on that pitch. It's a fastball outside, 1-0. And now John Kopicki struggling to find the strike zone a little. 5 balls in his last 6 pitches. The middle infield in double play depth for the Scouts. Beachy at short, Bourgeois at second. Kopicki, the 1-0 delivery. In there at the knees, 1-1. Eric Connor in his last 5 games, 2 for 20 with 3 RBIs. Struggling from the plate here lately. The pitch. Off speed, just misses off the outside corner, 2-1. And I'll tell you what, the home plate umpire today is not giving John Kopicki anything on that outside part of the plate. Of course, only through an inning. Well, here in the second now, we'll see if the strike zone changes at all throughout this one. The pitch, fastball, line drive, base hit, left center field. Jordan Lambert cuts that ball off, but a run will score. An RBI single for Eric Connor. And we've got ourselves the 2-1 ball game here in the second. Runners on first and second for the Jazz, still nobody down. Eric Connor gets his 10th RBI of the year. And after the Scouts take a 2-0 lead in the top half of the inning, the Jazz strike right back, and they're not done yet. Jordan Gillerman to the plate now for Richmond. Gillerman, a .276 hitter on the year, third on the team in doubles with 5. Kopicki checks Krul at second. The pitch, curveball, swung on, high fly ball, deep left field. Lambert settling back. He'll make the grab just in front of the warning track. 1 down here in the second. That ball carried a little ways out to left. And there's 1 down here in the bottom half of the second inning. Jack Holden now to the plate for the Jazz. Holden, a pinch hit appearance in last night's game. 0 for 1. He actually flew out to third base to end the game. Joey Roddy made the catch in foul territory. The first pitch to Holden. Fastball fouled off back toward the Xenia Scouts dugout. 0-1. Holden, a .254 hitter on the year. 16 for 63. A double and a home run as he stands in from the left side. Bill Krul stands on second. Eric Connor on first. The 0-1 delivery. Off speed in there at the knees, 0-2. Holden waves the bat toward Kopicky as the Scouts lead 2-1 here in the bottom half of the second inning. Runners on first and second, one down for the Jazz. The 0-2 pitch will not be delivered quite yet as Kopicky looks back at second and steps off the rubber. Now the 0-2 curveball misses high. 1-2 to Jack Holden. Holden, if he has an Achilles heel, it is the strikeout. 18 strikeouts on the year. That is second most on this Richmond Jazz team. The 1-2 pitch, curveball, just misses inside, 2-2. Kopicky starting to hear a little encouragement from the Scouts dugout as he is just missing off the corners with his off speed today. The 2-2 pitch, fastball fouled off behind the plate, will stay at 2-2. Jack Holden, before the pinch hit appearance yesterday, in which he flew out, had a 3-game hit streak going. He was 3 for 12 with a couple of RBIs in those 3 games. He's had some success against Scouts pitching. 5 for 10 with 4 walks and 3 RBIs. The pitch for Kopicky, that ball did not hit the front foot of Jack Holden. That's now 2 curveballs that have missed low and in to Holden, and it's 3-2. No shift on for Jack Holden despite batting from the left side. The infield in double play depth. The 3-2 pitch, fastball fouled off down the third base line, will stay at 3-2. Jack Holden with a very long at-bat for the Jazz. Seems like this has been going for a few minutes. Kopicky takes the sign from Ackerman and sets. The 3-2 delivery. Fastball misses low, and that is one heck of an at-bat for Jack Holden. He forces the walk, and the bases are loaded with 1 out here in the second for the Richmond Jazz. The Scouts leading 2-1 after they get a couple of runs in the top of the second. The Jazz have answered with a run here in the bottom half and have the bases loaded with 1 down. Brad Burkholder to the plate for Richmond. A newcomer on this Richmond Jazz team. Only played in 7 games. He's 5 for 18 with 3 walks from the plate. The pitch. Fastball misses low and away, 1-0. Kopicky trying to shake his arm out a little. Really struggling here in the bottom half of the second inning. Burkholder, who was hitless in his first 4 games with the Jazz, grounds one towards second. Bourgeois fields it on a couple hops. To second for 1, to first, and Burkholder beat it out. So a successful at-bat for Brad Burkholder. He reaches on a fielder's choice and gets the RBI as Bill Krul scores from third base. Jack Holden out at second on the 4-6 putout. And there's runners on the corners with 2 down for the Jazz. And at the top of the order, Cole Parks coming to the plate. A 2-2 tie between the Scouts and Richmond here in the second. Cole Parks 0 for 1 today. Flew out in foul territory to Casserly. Now grounds one toward Bourgeois at second. Slow roller. Bourgeois picks it up, fires to first. And that'll do it for the Jazz here in the second inning. But they strike right back. 2 runs on 2 hits and a couple of walks. They leave 2 on base. And we're tied at 2 heading to the third. You're listening to Xenia Scouts Baseball on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. A 2-2 tie between the Xenia Scouts and the Richmond Jazz as we head to the top half of the third inning here in Richmond, Indiana at McBride Stadium. The Scouts get 2 in the top of the first on 4 hits. The Jazz strike right back with 2 runs on 2 hits in the bottom half of the second. And now Aaron Takis, who's 1 for 1 with a double today, leads off the third for the Scouts. The pitch. Off speed in there at the knees, 0-1. Anthony Croco still on the mound for Richmond. Already mentioned that high 9.48 ERA on the year as that one's outside, 1-1 to Takis. Despite the 9.48 ERA, Krokos is 1-0 in 6 appearances for the Jazz. He's only pitched 12 1/3 innings in those 6 appearances. That fastball misses low to Takis, 2-1. Krokos a righty. Takis stands in from the left side. The 2-1 pitch, fastball misses in, 3-1. So Krokos, despite giving up 13 runs, earned runs, I should say, in 12 1/3, is 1-0, and it's because this Jazz lineup knows how to score runs. Even with their pitchers giving up, as Takis swings through a fastball, 3-2. Even with the pitching staff of this Richmond Jazz team giving up 130 earned runs this year. That's tied for 3rd most in the league, and the ERA is 5.92. The Jazz sit atop of the Southern Division at 13-9 as the 3-2 to Takis is outside ball 4. Aaron Takis is on for the second time today with the double in the first and now a walk to lead off the third, and that'll bring up Jordan Lambert for the Scouts. So this Jazz offense, they know how to score. 6th in runs scored in the league. They score 7.1 a game, 149 total this year. And just to give you a comparison to the Scouts are 13th in the league as Lambert takes a ball high and out, 1-0 in runs scored. There's 15 teams in this Great Lakes League, so that's 30 runs a game. Yet the Scouts pitchers have a better ERA than the Jazz pitching staff does. Lambert lines one toward right, but right to the right fielder, Jack Holden. Nothing Lambert can do there. He's 0 for 2 today. He continues to struggle against Jazz pitching. Jordan Lambert is now 2 for 20. This being the 6th game he's played in against these Richmond Jazz. And Kyle Casserly steps to the plate for the Scouts. Casserly, a big day yesterday for Xenia, 3 for 4, a 2 RBI double in the 3rd inning. 0 for 1 today with a ground out to the second baseman, Wilson. Krokos throws over to first. Takis dives back safely. Casserly stands in, one down here in the top of the third. A 2-2 tie between the Scouts and the Jazz. The pitch. Fastball, low and in, 1-0. Kyle Casserly, a .244 hitter for Xenia this year. However, he's on a 4-game hit streak, and he has a hit in 6 of his last 7. The pitch. Ground ball towards second. Wilson flips to short for 1. Over to first, and they doubled him up. A good play by Mitch Wilson and Jordan Gillerman in the middle infield. To turn 2. We'll head to the home half of the third. A 2-2 tie between the Scouts and the Jazz. You're listening to Xenia Scouts Baseball on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. We head to the home half of the third inning here in Richmond, Indiana. A 2-2 tie between the Xenia Scouts and the Richmond Jazz. John Kopicki back out there for his third inning of work. Mitch Wilson will lead it off for the Jazz, followed by Daniel Sepik and Andrew Check, the 2-3-4 hitters for Richmond today. Wilson 0 for 1 with a strikeout back in the first inning. Bats from the left side. Aaron Tack is playing in at third in case of a bunt. As that pitch misses high and away, 1-0. That ball went off of the glove of Ackerman. Ackerman just sat there and closed his glove a couple of times as he has no idea how that ball got to the backstop. Mitch Wilson, a .347 hitter on this Richmond Jazz team, takes a fastball high, 2-0. On any other team in the league, that might be the tops on the team, but on this Richmond Jazz team, it's Andrew Check, who's batting .365. The 2-0 pitch. Fastball misses high and away, 3-0, and Kopicki continues to struggle to find the strike zone. After the 1-2-3 first inning in which he struck out 2, he had to face 7 Jazz batters in the second. As the 3-0 pitch to Wilson misses low and in, a 4-pitch walk to Mitch Wilson. He's on for the first time today. And after you go 1-2-3 in the first, you hope you can build off that momentum. Instead, Kopicki last inning gave up a single, a walk, another single, got a fly out, and then a walk, and an RBI ground out by Brad Burkholder made it 2-2. As the first pitch to Daniel Sepik catches the outside corner, 0-1. Sepik was that second strikeout victim back in the first inning. So he's 0 for 1 today. A .292 hitter on the year. Now the pitch, curveball, grounded toward Beachy at short. The flip to second for 1, over to first, double play. 6-4-3. The Scouts turn their third double play of this series, and there's 2 down here in the third. A nice routine play by Ben Beachy to field that on a couple hops. And Bourgeois with a nice strike over to first. Casserly didn't even have to bend or jump or anything. 2 down here in the bottom half of the third for the most dangerous hitter in this Jazz lineup, and Andrew Check. Check 1 for 1 today with a single. As just in that first at bat, you could kind of tell Andrew Check was being a little more aggressive today. Yesterday, he went 0 for 4 and ended his 15-game hit streak. The pitch, curveball hit him. Andrew Check gets hit on his front hip. He's actually hit for the 5th time this year. That ties the lead on this Richmond Jazz team. The big body at 6'5", 250 pounds. Kopicki misses inside with a curveball, and Check is on with 2 down here in the third. Bill Krul to the plate for the Jazz, trying to keep the inning alive. He's 0 for 0 with a walk today. The pitch, curveball misses high, 1-0. Krul, who made a pinch hit appearance in yesterday's game, struck out in the 8th inning, a victim of Landon Williams. The pitch, fastball misses low, 2-0. Krul, before that pinch hit at bat, had a 5-game hit streak going. 4 of them were multi-hit games. Bill Krul now lines one to center. Andina retreating, and that's over Francisco Andina's head. Andrew Check rounding second and third. He'll head home. Krul stands up with a double. Francisco Andina misjudged that ball. I don't know if he would have got there anyways, but he took 2 steps in, then started to retreat back. Bill Krul comes through with his 5th double of the year, his 17th RBI. Andrew Check scores from first, and it is 3-2 Jazz here in the third. Let's go Picky after the easy first inning. Has definitely struggled here in the second and the third. In steps Eric Connor now for the Jazz. Bill Krul leads off a second. The pitch, curveball, misses high and away. 1-0. Kopicki taking his time on the mound. The 1-0 pitch. Fastball high and tight, 2-0. As John Kopicki continues to struggle to find the strike zone. Here in the third. Through 2 2/3 innings, Kopicki has given up 3 walks and he's hit a batter, 4 free passes. The 2-0 pitch. Inside, Eric Connor did not go around, and I can't believe that call, and neither can Chris Ackerman. And neither can John Kopicki on the mound. As Eric Connor, I don't know, he almost fell. Kind of slipped a little in the batter's box as the inside fastball tied him up. But it looked like he was way around. And instead, the count's 3-0. The pitch, fastball. The get me over 3-0 does just that. And the count's 3-1. Eric Connor, the designated hitter tonight, this afternoon for the Richmond Jazz. Connor 1 for 1 today with an RBI single in the second. Now he flies one towards shallow right field. Caden Owens settles under it, and that'll do it for the Jazz here in the third. They get a run on only 1 hit, and it's 3-2 Richmond as we head to the fourth. You're listening to Xenia Scouts Baseball on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. We head to the fourth here in Richmond, Indiana. A 3-2 Richmond Jazz lead over the Xenia Scouts. As Donald Ring steps in, he'll lead it off for the Scouts here in the fourth. The first pitch to him, fastball, ground ball towards second. Wilson makes the play, 1 down here in the fourth. So Donald Ring is now 1 for 2 on the day. That brings up Chris Ackerman for the Scouts. Ackerman 1 for 1 today with a double back in the second inning. He came around to score on Caden Owens' 2 RBI single to get the Scouts on the board first. Ackerman trying to get something started here in the fourth for the Scouts. The first pitch, high and tight, 1-0. Ackerman has reached base in 14 of his 15 games played, make it 15 of his 16 games played for the Scouts with the double here today. That fastball misses low and outside, 2-0. Ackerman, after only having 1 RBI in his first 10 games, he has 10 ribbies in his last 5. The 2-0. Fastball catches the outside edge, 2-1. Ackerman, a .271 hitter on the year. Awaits the 2-1 pitch. That curveball drops in there on the outside corner. Count even at 2-2. Anthony Krokos deals the 2-2. Fastball swung on and missed, strike 3. And actually, that ball dropped. That ball was an off-speed pitch from Krokos. And there's 2 down here in the fourth. Krokos gets his second strikeout of the afternoon. And now Caden Owens steps in for the second time today. A 2 RBI single his first time up in the second inning. The first pitch to him. Fastball misses outside. 1-0. Owens came into today batting .220. Picked up RBIs number 4 and 5 on the year with the 2 RBI single. The 1-0 pitch misses low and inside. 2-0 to Owens. Owens was 0 for 8 against the Jazz in 2 games played coming into today. Now the 2-0. Fastball skied high in the air, shallow center field. Mitch Wilson going back, and now the center fielder Cole Parks comes on and makes a sliding grab. Oh, that looked like trouble for a little while, but the Scouts go down in order here in the fourth, and they trail 3-2 as we head to the bottom half of the fourth inning. You're listening to Xenia Scouts Baseball on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. We head to the home half of the fourth inning here in Richmond, Indiana. A 3-2 Richmond Jazz lead over the Xenia Scouts as we head to the bottom half of the fourth. John Kopicki back out there for his fourth inning of work for the Scouts. The 7-8-9 hitters due up here in the fourth for the Jazz. Jordan Gillerman leads it off. He takes a curveball high. 1-0. Gillerman followed by Jack Holden and Brad Burkholder, the 7-8-9 hitters for the Jazz, due up in the fourth. Gillerman 0 for 1 today with a fly out to Lambert in left. The pitch, fastball high and tight, 2-0. John Kopicki, who's been successful on the mound this year for the Scouts, 2-0 in his 4 appearances. And now Gillerman skies one high, right field. Owen settling under it, makes the grab, 1 down. So despite being behind in the count 2-0, Kopicki gets the fly out he was looking for. And that'll bring up Jack Holden for the Jazz. Holden walked his first time up in the second inning. His only at-bat of the day. A .254 hitter as he bats from the left side. The pitch. Fastball line drive. Base hit center field. Andina scoops it up and throws it into second. Jack Holden on for the second time today. His first hit of the day. A 1-out single here in the fourth. And that'll bring up Brad Burkholder for the Jazz. Burkholder also a lefty. Went 1 for 3 in yesterday's game. He's 0 for 1 today. He did reach on a fielder's choice. Picked up an RBI as that fastball misses outside, 1-0. Burkholder's 4th RBI of the year on that grounder over to second. Scored Bill Krul back in the second inning. Aaron Taka's playing in on the grass at third base. The pitch. Lined foul behind the plate, 1-1. The infield grass here at McBride Stadium, John Cate Field, is pretty choppy. Talking to Takis, he says he's going to play in as the 1-1 pitch is a curveball, just misses below the knees, 2-1. Takis says he's going to play in, try to take away as many hops as he can before that ball is able to take a crazy, weird hop and get past him. Ben Beachy and Ange Bourgeois in double play depth in the middle infield. Kopicki steps off and looks Holden back at first. 3-2. Richmond leads over the Scouts here in the bottom of the fourth. 1 down for Richmond here in the fourth as Burkholder fouls another one off down the third baseline. Count 1-2 on Brad Burkholder. Burkholder stands at 5'9" in the lefty's batter's box. Now the pitch. Curveball misses in. Gets past the glove of Ackerman. Holden takes second. And that's the 4th, 5th, 6th time John Kopicki has missed way low and in with that curveball. That time it gets past Ackerman. Holden moves up 90 feet. And Burkholder has a duck on the pond with 1 down here in the fourth. The count full, 3-2. Excuse me, I believe I said it was 1-2 last pitch. Kopicki taking his time. Gets the sign from Ackerman. The 3-2 delivery. Fastball grounded toward Beachy at short. Beachy fields it, throws across the diamond. They got Burkholder, but boy, that was a close play. Brad Burkholder looking back toward the field umpire, hoping to get a call, and he didn't. 2 down here in the fourth. Jack Holden 90 feet away at third now. In the top of the order, Cole Parks coming to the plate. Parks 0 for 2 today. A fly out to Casserly in foul territory his first time up at first base. And then a ground out to Bourgeois at second. His last time up in the second inning. First pitch to him. Curveball catches the outside corner, strike 1. And that is a pitch that we have not seen John Kopicki get the call on all day. That curveball on the outside corner. It'd be on the inside corner to lefties. Now the pitch. Another curveball fouled off behind the plate, 0-2. Parks just kind of lunged for that one. Parks has been in the leadoff spot nearly every game for the Jazz this season, at least when he's played the Scouts. He's been in the leadoff spot every game, only batting .247. Now the 0-2, and it hit him on the front shoulder. John Kopicki hits his second batter of the game. He's now hit 2 batters and walked 5 free passes from John Kopicki, and that brings up Mitch Wilson, and that is not something you wanted to do. 2 down here in the bottom of the 4th, a 3-2 Richmond Jazz lead. Runners on the corners for Mitch Wilson. Jack Holden on third, Cole Parks on first. Parks speedy over at first, 5 for 6 on stolen bases this year. First pitch to Wilson, curveball inside, way inside, 1-0. Mitch Wilson, the most hits on this Richmond Jazz team with 33, a .347 hitter, 4 doubles, a triple, and a home run. The 1-0 pitch. Parks takes off. Ackerman is going to fake the throw to second. Parks is in easily. Now there's 2 ducks on the pond for Mitch Wilson. That pitch was a strike. 1-1 to the junior. Wilson plays his college ball at Concordia University. Was a .370 hitter for the Cougars. Now hitting .347 this summer. He calls time and steps out. Mitch Wilson now 8 for 20 with 4 walks and 3 RBIs against Scouts pitching as he takes the ball low and away, 2-1. So he's one of these guys at the top of the Richmond Jazz lineup that the Xenia Scouts staff has struggled getting out. Kopicki takes the sign from Ackerman. The pitch. Fastball misses low and in. And that's going to walk Mitch Wilson. And here in the press box, we're all looking at each other. Okay, so the pitch that Cole Parks stole on was a ball, not a strike. So now the bases are loaded. For the Richmond Jazz, and Daniel Sepik to the plate. Sepik, the 3-run home run to left field yesterday. Now the first pitch to him. Fastball fouled off. 0-1. Sepik 0 for 2 today with a strikeout and the 6-4-3 double play ground out. But everybody knows he has the power. League leading 11 doubles. A triple and 2 home runs. Bases loaded for the Jazz here in the bottom of the 4th. The 0-1 pitch, curveball, fly ball, shallow left field. Lambert coming on. Beachy calls him off and makes the grab at short. Kopicki gets out of the bases loaded jam. A long inning for John Kopicki, but no damage done. The Jazz lead 3-2 as we head to the 5th. You're listening to Xenia Scouts Baseball on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. To the fifth we go here at McBride Stadium in Richmond, Indiana. A 3-2 Richmond Jazz lead over the Xenia Scouts, as Ange Bourgeois will lead it off for Xenia here in the top of the fifth. Bourgeois, followed by Francisco Andina and Ben Beachy, the 8-9-1 hitters due up for the Scouts here in the fifth. Ange 1 for 1 today with a single back in the second. The pitch, fastball, fouled off behind the plate, 0-1. Bourgeois now has a hit in 12 of his last 15 games. He's reached base in 18 of 21 games for Xenia. Now the 0-1 from Krokos. Fastball catches the outside edge, 0-2. And the one thing about Bourgeois, despite having a hit in 11 of his last 14, is it's normally only one hit. You normally see a 1 for 3, 1 for 4, 1 for 5 day from Bourgeois. Now the 0-2, swung on, grounded toward first. Check picks it up, flips to the pitcher Krokos. Krokos just nicked the bag. Oh, he almost ran over it. Bourgeois grounds out, a 3-1 put out. And there's one down here in the fifth. Francisco Andina steps to the plate now for the Scouts. The 9-hole hitter hoping to get something going for Xenia, as they scored twice in the second inning on 4 hits. No hits since for the Scouts, as Krokos' first pitch to Andina misses low and in, 1-0. Two runs on 5 hits through the first 2 innings for Xenia. And now no hits in the last 8 batters as Andina takes a ball low, 2-0. Andina 0 for 1 today. A fly out to center field, his first time up in the second inning. The pitch. That one misses low, 3-0 on Francisco Andina. And I'll tell you what, the right fielder, Jack Holden, playing pretty deep in right field. Andina not known as a power hitter, even though he does have 1 home run this year. If he does what he normally can do as the 3-0 pitch is outside ball 4, well, take away what I was going to say. Andina's on for the first time today with a walk. What I was going to say is Andina normally his hits are those line drive singles out to right. And sometimes if they're down the line, with how deep and how over Holden is playing in right, Francisco Andina, if he can hit one down that right field line in the future, in the next few innings of this ballgame, he might have himself a triple. Ben Beachy to the plate now for the Scouts. Krokos throws over to Andina. He dives back safely. Ben Beachy 0 for 2 today with a couple of ground outs. 1 to third and 1 to short. That fastball in there at the belt, strike 1. Ben Beachy has a hit in 9 of his last 11 games. He's 6 for 17 with 2 doubles and a triple in his last 5. Off speed in there at the knee, strike 2. So Beachy struggling today, 0 for 2, and now down in the count, 0-2 on this one. 3-2 Richmond Jazz lead here in the top of the fifth. 1 down for the Scouts. The pitch. Fastball swung on and missed inside. Ben Beachy is getting fooled today on those inside pitches. And there's 2 down here in the fifth. I believe that was the second strikeout of the day for Anthony Krokos. And in steps Aaron Takis. Takis 1 for 1 with a walk today. His one hit a double down the left field line in the first inning. Ended up getting stranded at third. The first pitch. Fastball misses low and in. 1-0. Aaron Takis, a .235 hitter coming into this game. Didn't have an extra base hit all year until his double in the first inning. Now Andina fakes going to second. Ground ball up the middle. It gets under the glove of Jordan Gillerman at short. An awkward bounce along the lip of the grass. And there's runners on first and second with 2 down for the Scouts here in the 5th. And I'm curious. I think that's going to be a hit up the middle. So that's going to be Aaron Takis's second hit of the day. He's 2 for 2 with a walk. And in steps Jordan Lambert for Xenia. The first pitch to Lambert. Fastball, strike 1 on the outside corner. And oh boy, home plate umpire might have gave Anthony Krokos about half a ball to a ball's length on the outside there. The 0-1 pitch. Fastball, grounded, past the glove of Check at first. Ondino rounding third. He'll score standing up. Takis slides into third. Lambert is safe at second. Jordan Lambert an RBI single, and we're tied at 3 here in the 5th. Fantastic hustle from Jordan Lambert as well to book to second on the throw to third. Aaron Takis slides in safely at third. Lambert's under the tag at second, and we are tied at 3. Jordan Lambert, after being 2 for 20 against Jazz pitching this season, gets the biggest hit of the day for the Scouts, and we're tied up. Now Kyle Castley takes an off-speed pitch outside, 1-0. Cass, 0 for 2 today. 2 ground outs to the second baseman, Wilson. Well, one was a double play. Wilson went to second before Gilliman fired Castley out at first. Now the pitch. Chopper toward first. Check fields it on a hop. Flips it over to Krokos, who steps on the bag. And that'll do it in the 5th inning. The Scouts strike back. They get a run on an RBI single from Jordan Lambert. And it's 3-3 as we head to the home half of the 5th. You're listening to Xenia Scouts Baseball on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. To the bottom of the 5th we go here at McBride Stadium in Richmond, Indiana. A 3-3 tie between the Xenia Scouts and the Richmond Jazz. As we head to the home half of the 5th, John Kopicki back out on the mound for his 5th inning of work. He'll face the most dangerous hitter in this lineup, and Andrew Check to lead it off. That curveball in there at the knees for strike 1. Check, a .365 hitter, 1 for 1 today with a hit by pitch. He has scored both times he's been on base. Kopicki now steps off. The Scouts starting to get a couple people loose in the bullpen. Now the 0-1 pitch. High and away, 1-1. It's hard to tell who it is down there, though, as we can't see a number. My guess, maybe Michael Pineda O'Donnell. I'm trying to think of who's available today. The 1-1 pitch, curveball, line drive, Lambert coming in, and it lands in front of him. Andrew Check on for the 3rd time today. He's 2 for 2 with a hit by pitch. A leadoff single here in the 5th, and then I'll bring up Bill Krul. And after the hitless day yesterday for Andrew Check, his first time being hitless in 15 games, he's coming out swinging today. Now Bill Krul bats from the right side. Made the Scouts pay his last time up with an RBI double that actually scored Andrew Check. He lined that ball to deep center field, the deepest part of the park. It's 402 out to center. And now Kopicki having a conversation with the field umpire. He gave him the ball, and the field umpire just chucked it into the Richmond Jazz dugout. Said that one's no good. Andrew Check, a small lead over at first. The pitch, curveball, catches the outside corner, strike one. The home plate umpire being a little more lenient with that outside curveball now. Kopicki sets once again. The 0-1 pitch, another curveball. This time it misses low, 1-1. Krul walked his first time up in the second inning. It was his 12th walk of the year. That's second on this Richmond Jazz team. An RBI double his last time up in the third, his 5th double of the year, his 17th RBI. That's third on the team. That fastball high above the head, 2-1. Krul steps back in, taps the outside part of the plate. A 3-3 tie between the Scouts and the Jazz here in the home half of the 5th. The pitch, fastball in there for a strike on the inside edge. 2-2. Andrew Check stands on first after the leadoff single for Richmond. Kopicki sets the 2-2. Off speed, fouled off down the first base line. Will stay at 2-2. Talking to John Kopicki, he was just happy to be pitching against someone other than the Southern Ohio Copperheads today. Kopicki, who's appeared in 4 games for the Scouts, has pitched 3 times against Southern Ohio. Now the 2-2 to Krul. Curveball. Foul territory down the third base line. Out of play. Caden Owens started to pursue. That one went way out. 2-2. Kopicki's other appearance was against the Hamilton Joes. So he said it's nice to see some new faces on the mound. The 2-2 pitch. Curveball. Just high. 3-2. High and inside to Bill Krul. Didn't get that break that he wanted. Of course, Kopicki was scheduled to pitch again versus the Southern Ohio Copperheads this past Friday, a couple days ago. Now the 3-2 to Krul. Fastball high and in. Ball 4. John Kopicki walks his 5th batter of the game. And that'll bring up Eric Connor for the Jazz. Again, there is some movement down in the Scouts bullpen. It's hard to tell who it is. No move being made yet. 3-3 ball game here in the bottom of the 5th. Kopicki has issued 7 free passes, 5 walks, and 2 hit by pitches. The Scouts tied this ball game up at 3 in the top half of the inning with an RBI single by Jordan Lambert as the first pitch to Eric Connor as a curveball catches the outside edge. 0-1. Kopicki trying to not give up anything here. Runners on first and second, nobody down. The Scouts would love to keep this thing tied heading to the 6th inning. The 0-1 pitch from John Kopicki to Eric Connor. Fastball high and in, 1-1. Connor 1 for 2 today, had an RBI single back in the 2nd inning, his 10th RBI of the year. He flew out to Caden Owens in right field his last time up in the 3rd. The Jazz have threatened in every inning but the first, after that 1-2-3 first inning. Now the pitch. Curveball drops in there at the knees, 1-2. The Jazz left 2 on base after scoring 2 in the 2nd. They scored 1 in the 3rd and left 1 on base. And then didn't get a run in the 4th as Kopicki got Daniel Sepik to fly out to the shortstop Beachy, but the bases were loaded. So 6 runners left on base through the first 4 innings for the Jazz. And now that curveball's chopped toward third. It'll stay fair. Takas steps on third, throws over to first, and they got him. And they're going to call that a foul ball. Bubba Cates a few steps out of the dugout. It's like he's contemplating whether to go argue. He's going to retreat back. The pitching coach, Corey Coobs, screamed at the top of his lungs. That's a big call. I know the ball was in fair territory. They're going to say Takas was in foul territory when he fielded the ball. The count's still 1-2 on Connor. The pitch. Fastball, check swing, and he went around. Eric Connor goes down swinging. John Kopicki's third strikeout of the day, and there's one down here in the fifth. The runners stay at first and second, but boy, would that double play ball have been nice for John Kopicki. In steps Jordan Gillerman now for the Jazz. Andrew Check still stands on second. Bill Krul on first. Gillerman 0 for 2 today. A fly out to Lambert in left in the second inning. A fly out to Owens in right in the fourth. The first pitch. Fastball, line drive, center field. Andina pursuing, and he makes the sliding grab. The throw to second's not in time. Check gets back safely. Francisco Andina makes a heck of a play out there in center field. And there's two down here in the fifth. And John Kopicki showing him a little love, gives him a point out there in center. Says, thank you for that. Andina, who misjudged a ball earlier in this game. Bill Krul's RBI double to center field. Andina took a couple steps in before sprinting back as that ball was hit about 370 to 380 out there to dead center where it's 402 feet. The curveball misses low and in to Jack Holden, 1-0. So Andina made a little misplay, and Kopicki's an out away from getting out of this inning. 3-3 tie here in the fifth between the Jazz and the Scouts. Bottom half of the inning, 2 on, 2 out for Richmond. The 1-0 pitch, curveball, swung on and missed, 1-0. 1-1. Holden 1 for 1 today with a walk. He walked in the second inning, a single his last time up in the fourth. He bats from the left side. Kopicki sets the 1-1. Curveball low, 2-1. Jack Holden. If you include yesterday's game where he went 0 for 1 with a pinch hit, he now has a hit in 4 of his last 5 games. If you don't include the pinch hit yesterday, he has a 4-game hit streak going. The pitch, fastball at the knee, strike 2. Oh, that one just got in there. Count even at 2-2 to Jack Holden. Holden, a redshirt senior, plays his college ball at Eastern Illinois. Suffered a season-ending injury this year, so he did not play. So good for him to be back out on the field this summer. The 2-2 pitch, curveball. Line drive up the middle. Beachy just under the glove. Andina coming in. The throw to the plate is late. A run scores. Jack Holden hits that one up the middle. That ball ended up bouncing a couple times on the dirt. I misread that. My apologies. I thought that ball was a line drive into the outfield. And that ball had a chance for Ben Beachy to make a play at short. And it went just under the glove of Beachy, and the Jazz regained the lead. Andrew Check scores his 3rd run of the game. Runners on first and second still for the Jazz. Jack Holden picks up his 2nd hit of the game. And now, Bubba Cates coming out to talk to John Kopicki and the whole infield. I didn't see whether he made a move toward the bullpen. I don't think he will. Kopicki will be out there for at least one more batter to finish the 5th. I would not be surprised to see Cates make a move if Kopicki gives up another hit, which would mean another run with Bill Krul, who's very fast over at second. Base hit would probably score him. The bullpen guys down there for the Scouts waiting to see whether Bubba Cates would make a call. And I don't think he's going to. A 4-3 lead for the Jazz now here in the bottom of the fifth. As Kopicki, it's been a long day for John Kopicki. I don't know what the pitch count is, but it's got to be high. As he had a 1-2-3 first, and ever since, faced 7 batters in the second inning, faced 5 in the third, faced another 6 in the fourth, and now he's on his 6th batter here in the fifth. Brad Burkholder stands in, the 9-hole hitter for the Jazz, hoping to keep this inning going for Richmond. The pitch, fastball outside, ball 1. Burkholder 0 for 2 today. Did reach on a fielder's choice, and on that fielder's choice, got the RBI that scored Bill Krul for the second run of the game. Now the pitch, fastball, fly ball, shallow left field. Takis backs up, makes the play along the line, and that'll do it for the Jazz here in the 5th inning. But they get a run back. They lead 4-3 as we head to the 6th. You're listening to Xenia Scouts Baseball on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. We head to the 6th here at McBride Stadium in Richmond, Indiana. A 4-3 Richmond Jazz lead over the Xenia Scouts. As Donald Green, Chris Ackerman, and Caden Owens, the 4, 5, 6 hitters for Xenia, due up here in the 6th. Ring 1 for 2 today, a single in the second inning. A ground out to the second baseman Wilson in the 4th. Ended up coming around to score the first run of the game on Caden Owens' 2 RBI single. First pitch to Ring, off speed, outside, 1-0. Donald Green, the designated hitter today, was behind the plate yesterday for the Scouts. A 227 hitter on the year. Now he takes a ball below the knees, 2-0. Ring in 4 games against the Richmond Jazz is 5 for 14 with a couple of walks and a couple of RBIs. As he takes a ball way inside, 3-0. His only home run of the year was against this Jazz team, back in the 23-8 loss against Richmond. In that 23-8 loss, it was Donald Ring's best game of the year. The 3-0 catches the inside corner, 3-1 to Ring. Donald Ring was the bright spot that day for the Scouts, 4 for 4 with a home run, 2 RBIs. In the huge 23-8 loss. Ring now fouls a fastball back behind the plate, 3-2. And he shakes his head as he knows that ball might have been just low. Kroko sets the 3-2 pitch. Fastball low and away. Ball 4. Donald Ring is on for the second time today. The Scouts, who badly needed the leadoff runner aboard, get one. And that brings up Chris Ackerman for Xenia. Ackerman 1 for 2 today with a double in the first inning. He struck out swinging his last time up in the 4th. The Scouts down 4-3 here in the top of the 6th. The tying run aboard and Donald Ring. Krokos throws over. Ring dives back safely. Andrew Check doesn't even apply a tag. Ackerman's double back in the second inning was his 3rd double of the year. Now the pitch. Fastball skied high in the air toward right center field. The center fielder Parks going back. He'll make the grab. A Ring will retreat to first. And there's one down here in the 6th inning. Now Caden Owens will step in from the left side for the Scouts. 1 for 2 today. The 2 RBI single back in the second inning. He flew out to center field back in the 4th. Owens, a .220 hitter coming into today. The first pitch, fastball, outside corner, strike 1. Owens in right field once again today for the Scouts. I know Caden's parents were here this whole week, this past week. Got to see Caden play for a while. The 0-1 pitch, low and inside, ball 1. Well, his parents leave, and Owens gets his first 2 RBIs in a while on that 2 RBI single. No offense to Caden's parents. Now the 1-1. Fastball popped up center field. Park settles under it, makes the grab. 2 down here in the 6th. So after Donald Ring, the leadoff batter, gets on to begin the inning, 2 straight flyouts to center field. And there's 2 down, and Ange Bourgeois will try to keep the inning going for the Scouts. Bourgeois 1 for 2 on the afternoon. A single in the second inning. A ground out to the first baseman Check in the 5th. Krokos looks back at Ring at first. Now the pitch. Fastball swung on and missed. 0-1. Bourgeois steps out, takes a look at the wood bat. Now steps back in. The bat waving above his back shoulder. The pitch. Fastball fouled off behind the plate. 0-2. And now Bourgeois behind the count, 0-2. But he's one of these Xenia Scouts hitters that is very good at fighting off pitches. We've seen a 12-pitch at-bat from Ange Bourgeois. I believe another 9-pitch at-bat from Bourgeois. Very good at choking up on that bat and staying alive. The 0-2 pitch, way outside, 1-2. Anthony Krokos in his 6th inning of work for the Jazz after giving up 2 runs on 5 hits in the first 2. He has not allowed a run since, 1 run since, back in the 5th inning. The pitch just misses. Maybe a little high, 2-2. That one didn't miss by much. Bourgeois. 17 strikeouts on the year. Trying to avoid 18 here. The 2-2. Fastball low. And the count's full at 3-2. So Andrew Bourgeois, who normally fouls off pitches to get back in the at-bat, hasn't had to do anything on 3 straight pitches here. 2 balls high and outside, 1 low. Krokos takes the sign from the catcher, Cruel. The 3-2 pitch, fastball, skied high, shallow left field, Chasing is the shortstop. Gillerman makes the grab right along that third base line. And that'll do it for the Scouts here in the 6th. Donald Ring gets on with the leadoff walk, but the Scouts with 3 straight flyouts can't do anything with it. 4-3, the Richmond Jazz lead as we head to the home half of the 6th. You're listening to Xenia Scouts Baseball on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. Michael Pineda O'Donnell on to pitch here in the 6th for the Scouts in relief of John Kopicki. A 4-3 Richmond Jazz lead over Xenia as we head to the home half of the 6th inning. Kopicki's final line, 5 innings pitched, 6 hits given up, 4 runs, all earned, 3 strikeouts, and the big thing for Kopicki today, 5 walks, and also a couple hit by pitches. 7 free passes given by Kopicki. Cole Parks, the leadoff batter for the Jazz, in to lead off the 6th, takes the ball outside, 1-0. Michael Pineda O'Donnell, a 5.7 ERA and 23 2/3 innings pitched. He's given up 27 hits, 15 earned runs, 9 walks, 12 strikeouts. The pitch fouled off, 1-1. And Pineda O'Donnell, I will say this, his ERA was above 10. I believe it might have been 12. After his first 2 starts, he gave up, I believe, 11 of those 15 earned runs. And in his relief appearances since, as the 1-1 pitch is inside, and actually, did that ball get fouled off on a check swing? It did. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Cole Parks. O'Donnell, in his 1 start since those first 2, 6 innings pitched, only gave up 3 earned runs. And out of the bullpen, he's only given up 1 earned run this season. So the 5.7 ERA as the 1-2 pitch to Parks, a curveball sliced towards second. Bourgeois makes the play on a hop, 1 down here in the 6th. So the 5.7 ERA for Michael Pineda O'Donnell is very good after the not-so-good start. O'Donnell jokes he's not looking at his ERA till the season's over. I can tell you, he thought it was still at around 10 a few days ago. I said, no, it's a little lower than that. Mitch Wilson stands in now for the Jazz. The first pitch to Wilson. Catches the outside corner, strike 1. Wilson 0 for 1 with a strikeout today as he reached base his last 2 times on a couple of walks. Wilson not normally one to walk, only 4 walks on the year coming into this one. Now he sends one in the air, medium depth. Ondina calls Lambert off in left center field, 2 down. So Pineda O'Donnell comes in and gets the first 2 outs of his day. And then I'll bring up Daniel Sepik. And that's tough to do, to come in your first inning. You're facing the top of the order in this Richmond Jazz lineup. The most dangerous hitters coming up now, Daniel Sepik, Andrew Check, and Bill Krul, the 3, 4, 5 hitters, are the next three up. But two down here in the sixth. Sepik stands in from the right side. The pitch. Fastball line drive. Aaron Takis couldn't quite handle it. Right off the glove of Takis. Sepik heading for two. The throw from Lambert is late, and it goes past Bourgeois. Casserly there to back him up. A 2-out double for Daniel Sepik. A league-leading 12th double of the year. But I'll tell you what, Aaron Takis had a play on that ball. That ball was hit about 2 or 3 feet to the right of Aaron Takis, and it just went off his glove. And now Pineda O'Donnell has to face the most dangerous hitter in this Richmond Jazz lineup. Andrew Check today, 2 for 2 with a couple of singles and a hit by pitch. All 3 times he's been on base, and all 3 times he's come around to score. Check was hitting .365 coming into today. This afternoon, he has his 12th multi-hit game of the year. He now has a hit in 19 of 21 games played. And I know I've mentioned it several times, but he had a 15-game hit streak coming in to yesterday before he was 0 for 4. The first pitch to Check, skied high, foul territory. Ackerman pursuing, and it's just out of play behind the plate. 0-1. Boy, would that have been a gift for Pineda O'Donnell and the Scouts. So you could say Andrew Check was out for a little bit of revenge today. And he's gotten it so far. Couple of singles. 3 of the 4 runs for the Jazz. Daniel Sepik stands on second. 2 down here in the bottom of the 6th. A 4-3 lead for the Richmond Jazz over the Xenia Scouts. Michael Pineda O'Donnell on in relief for Xenia. The 0-1 pitch. Ground ball. Casserly knocked it down. Picks it up. The throw to first, and Pineda O'Donnell didn't beat Check to the bag. Andrew Check beats out the infield single. The important thing there is Casserly was able to dive and knock down that ball. That would have been an RBI double for Andrew Check. Down the line. Runners on the corners. 2 down for the Jazz here in the 6th. Check has his 3rd hit of the game. And in steps Bill Krul. That was a very close play at first base. I think it was the right call, though. Krul to the plate. 1 for 1 with a couple of walks today. First pitch to him. Curveball in there. Strike 1 at the knees. Good pitch from O'Donnell. Krul has 1 hit, an RBI double back in the 3rd inning. 2 down here in the 6th. Runners on the corners for the Jazz. 4-3 lead over to the Scouts. The 0-1 pitch. Fastball fouled off down the first base line. In on the hands of Bill Krul. And the count goes to 0-2. Krul behind the plate today for the Jazz. He was not in the lineup yesterday. Make a pinch hit appearance. Struck out in that appearance in the 8th. The 0-2 pitch. Curveball outside, 1-2. Krul thought about it. He did not go around. And now Ackerman throws down to first. Casserly applies the tag, but it's just late. Andrew Check gets back safely. 1-2 on Bill Krul. Krul waving the bat above his back shoulder. The 3-2 pitch. The 1-2 pitch. Outside. Now 2-2 on Krul. Apparently, I can't read the scoreboard right today. Daniel Sepik stands on 3rd. Andrew Check on 1st. 2 down here in the 6th. The 2-2 from O'Donnell. Curveball. Skied high, shallow left field. Lambert coming on, makes the grab. Pineda O'Donnell gets out of the inning. Gives up 2 hits, but no runs. And the Scouts trail by 1 heading to the 7th. A 4-3 Jazz lead. You're listening to Xenia Scouts Baseball on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. To the top of the 7th inning we go here at McBride Stadium in Richmond, Indiana. A 4-3 Richmond Jazz lead over the Xenia Scouts as Francisco Andina leads it off here in the 7th for Xenia. Takes a strike at the knees, 0-1. Anthony Krokos back out there for his 7th inning of work for Richmond. He's given up 3 runs on 7 hits thus far. The 0-1 pitch high and outside, 1-1. Andina 0-for-1 today with a walk. He's now reached base in 19 of 22 games for the Scouts. Had an on-base percentage of .357 coming into this one. The 1-1 pitch, fastball fouled off behind the plate, 1-2. Andina steps out. His normal routine, adjusts the batting gloves, a big deep breath before he steps back in. Kroko sets. The 1-2 delivery. Off speed outside, 2-2. Everybody in normal depth out there for the Jazz, infield and outfield. Jack Holden fairly deep against the 5'8 lefty in Andina. Most of his hits line drive bloopers. The 2-2. Fastball swung on and missed, strike 3. Andina goes down swinging. Krokos gets his 3rd strikeout of the day. And in steps Ben Beachy, the leadoff hitter today for the Scouts. Beachy, normally the most consistent and best hitter on this ball club. 0-for-3 today. A .312 hitter coming into this one. The pitch, way high, a curveball that just never broke. Curveball way and inside. Over the head of Ben Beachy, he had to duck to get out of the way. 1-0. Beachy hitting .333 over his past 11 games. Takes a fastball on the outside corner for strike 1. But he continues to struggle against Richmond Jazz pitching, as many of these Scouts have. Beachy was 3-for-10 against the Jazz coming into today. That fastball low and outside, 2-1. make it 3 for 13 against the Jazz is Ben Beachy in his 4th game here today. Scouts trail 4-3 here in the top of the 7th. The 2-1 pitch to Beachy. Fastball lined foul down the first base line. 2-2. Beachy's been in and out of the lineup the past week or so with some knee issues. Nothing serious. Obviously, him being in the game today. The 2-2 pitch. Change up. Chopped foul down the third baseline. We'll do 2-2 all over again. Anthony Krokos, who's only given up 3 runs through 6 in a third, having himself a heck of a day. A 9.48 coming in, 9.48 ERA coming into today. The 2-2 pitch. Ground ball up the middle. Backhanded and no, gets under the glove of the second baseman Wilson. Ben Beachy's on for the first time today. And that'll be Beachy's first hit of the game. He's 1 for 4 with a single. And then steps Aaron Takis for the Scouts. And Takis is who you want up there right now if you're Xenia. 2 for 2 with a walk today, a double in the first inning, a single in the 5th. Takis, who was batting .235 coming into today, having himself a day. Throw over to first. Beachy dives back safely. Takis' double was his first extra base hit of the year. Boy, could the Scouts use another one here. The pitch. Low and inside, ball 1. Takis, the junior from Cairn University. Talk about a heck of a year. He hit .409 with the Highlanders. 10 doubles, 2 triples, 2 home runs, 28 ribbies for Aaron Takis in school ball. Now he fouls off that fastball behind the plate, 1-1. And when Takis was struggling a little bit at the beginning of the year, he never panicked. Said, you know, it's baseball, it happens. He felt he was seeing the ball pretty well. He just wasn't hitting it to the right spots. He's found it here lately. The 1-1 pitch. Fastball line drive. Base hit center field. Aaron Takis is 3 for 3 on the day. And there's runners on first and second with 1 down for the Scouts here in the 7th. Have a day, Aaron Takis. Only his 4th multi-hit game of the year. Well, actually, he picked up the multi-hit game back in the 5th with his single. But he keeps his day going, and now Jordan Lambert steps up. Runners on first and second, 1 down. The Scouts trailing 4-3 here in the 7th. First pitch to Lambert. Fastball outside, 1-0. Lambert 1 for 3 today. His last time up, an RBI single in the 5th inning. His 13th RBI of the year. Ben Beachy leads off second. He's the tying run. Takis on first, the go-ahead run. The pitch, fastball line drive right to check at first. Check taps on first, and that'll do it for the Scouts here in the 7th inning. And there is nothing you can do about that. Lambert still with the bat in his hands, can't believe it. He barreled up that ball right to Andrew Check at first. That would have been an RBI single to tie the game. Andrew Check just in the right spot. And we'll head to the bottom of the 7th. The Jazz still leading 4-3. To the home half of the 7th inning we go here in Richmond. A 4-3 Richmond Jazz lead over the Xenia Scouts. Eric Connor will lead it off for the Jazz. Michael Pineda O'Donnell back for his 2nd inning of relief. The first pitch to Connor, a curveball, swung on and missed. A good pitch from O'Donnell. 0-1. And boy, you can just feel the life sucked out of the Xenia Scouts after that last inning. O'Donnell sets the 0-1 pitch. Another curveball catches the outside corner, 0-2. Runners on first and second with only 1 out in the top of the 7th. The Scouts trailing 4-3, and Jordan Lambert sent a shot right to Andrew Check at first. The 0-2 pitch swung on and missed. Strike 3. Pineda O'Donnell gets his first strikeout of the afternoon. 1 down here in the 7th. Check didn't even have to move. He caught that ball, went and touched first, as Aaron Takis had no hope of getting back. And that ended the inning. If that ball is a couple feet to the right or left, Jordan Lambert's got himself maybe an RBI double. Definitely an RBI single with Ben Beachy on second. Now the pitch. Curveball, low and away, 1-0. Jordan Gillerman at the plate for the Jazz. 0 for 3 today, a fly out to all the outfielders. To left in the 2nd inning, to right in the 4th inning, to center field in the 5th. The 1-0 pitch, curveball, skied high in the air, medium depth, left field. Lambert settles under it, makes the grab, 2 down. So Pineda O'Donnell, exactly what he did last inning, retired the first 2. In the 6th, he gave up the double to Sepik and then the infield single to Check. But he got Bill Krul to fly out to left to end the inning. Now 2 down in the 7th. O'Donnell doing his job thus far, not allowing a run. Jack Holden to the plate for the Jazz. 2 for 2 with a walk today as he bats from the left side. The pitch, fastball, swung on, hit deep, right field, gone. A solo home run for Jack Holden. Extends the Jazz lead to 4-2 here in the 7th. All Caden Owens in right field could do was watch it fly. Holden's 2nd home run of the year. And it is 5-3 Jazz. 5-3 here in the 7th. As Brad Burkholder steps to the plate. First pitch to Burkholder, fastball, outside corner, strike 1. And that is a big insurance run for the Richmond Jazz. All of a sudden, the Scouts down by 1, thought they were going to tie the game on a line drive from Lambert. Now that off-speed pitch misses outside. It ends up going right to Andrew Check, and then in the next inning, Jack Holden goes yard over that short right field fence. The 2-0 pitch, the 1-1, a curveball. Ground ball to Bourgeois. He takes care of it at second. Pineda O'Donnell slaps his glove as he jogs to the bench. One mistake, a fastball right over the heart of the plate. And the Jazz have a 5-3 lead. You're listening to Xenia Scouts Baseball on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. We head to the 8th inning here in Richmond, Indiana at McBride Stadium, a 5-3 lead for the Richmond Jazz over the Xenia Scouts. A new pitcher in for the Jazz. It'll be Billy Landman. Landman, a 3.46 ERA in 13 innings pitched for the Jazz. This is his 8th appearance out of the bullpen. He's given up 13 hits, only 5 earned runs, 1 walk in 12 strikeouts for Billy Landman. He's the only pitcher in the Great Lakes League who has pitched more than 10 innings and has 1 walk. Kyle Casserly will lead it off for the Scouts here in the 8th. Casserly followed by Ring and Ackerman, the 4-5-6 hitters for the Xenia Scouts. Casserly takes a ball low, 1-0. The Scouts tied this ball game at 3 in the 5th. As Cass takes a ball outside, 2-0. Have not been able to scratch a run across in the 6th or the 7th. Had a chance in the 7th. Runners on 1st and 2nd with 1 out. As the 2-0 to Cass. Fastball at the knee, strike 1. A line drive. One of the hardest hit balls all day off the bat of Jordan Lambert. Would have been an RBI single, except it went right to Andrew Check at first. As Cass takes a ball outside, 3-1. And Andrew Check, all he had to do was catch that ball and tap first base. As Takis was way off, there was nothing he could do about it. And all of a sudden, the Scouts were out of the inning. Now the 3-1 to Cass. High and away, ball 4. So Billy Landman, who has only walked 1 batter all year, gives his second free pass to Kyle Casserly. Donald Ring, the tying run, steps to the plate here in the 8th. 1 on, nobody down. And then in the bottom half of the 7th, so all that was in the top half of the 7th, the bottom half of the 7th, Jack Holden, a solo home run to extend the Jazz lead to 5-3. Now we're here in the 8th. The first pitch to Ring. Fastball outside, ball 1. Billy Landman from Wright State Lake University. 6'1", 195-pound righty. The pitch. Fastball catches the outside corner, 1-1. Landman with the Lakers this past year, a 4.07 ERA, 4-2 in 9 appearances. 21 walks, 38 strikeouts. The 1-1. Fastball inside, 2 balls and 1 strike to Donald Ring. Ring 1 for 2 today with a walk. Walked his last time up in the 6th. The single came back in the 2nd. Casserly leads off a first. The 2-1 pitch to Ring. Grounded hard, foul down the first baseline. Count even at 2-2. Donald Ring way ahead of that changeup. Ring, the designated hitter today for the Scouts. Xenia looking to get something going here in the 8th. Down 2. The pitch, curveball, fouled off down the first base line. And we'll stay at 2-2. Ring, a 227 hitter coming into today. He's 3 for 18 with a couple of walks his last 5 games as Landman throws over to first. Casserly gets back safely. All 3 of those hits for Donald Ring, doubles in his last 5. The pitch, curveball, fouled off behind the plate. I have no idea how Donald Ring ended up staying alive there. That ball was about to bounce near his feet, and he somehow got the bat around to stay alive. Well, actually, would have been ball 3. Cass, a decent-sized lead over at first. The pitch. Fastball, line drive, right field, going back as the right fielder. Holden, it's over his head. And 1 hops the wall. Ring hustling into second, slides in safely. Casserly moves to 3rd. Donald Ring has his 4th double of the year, and there's runners on 2nd and 3rd with nobody down here in the 8th for the Scouts. Talk about a big hit from Donald Ring. And now Chris Ackerman steps to the plate for Xenia. Down by 2, 5-3 here in the 8th. The tying run stands on 2nd for the Scouts and Donald Ring. Jack Holden just couldn't get to the ball in right field. And now Ackerman steps up 1 for 3 today. A double back in the second inning. The pitch, fastball, catches the outside corner, strike one. And boy, if the Scouts are going to tie this ball game, this is the inning to do it. A deep fly ball from Ackerman would score at least one here. Well, it would score one. Now the pitch, curveball outside, 1-1. Caden Owens stands on deck for the Scouts. He's 1 for 3 today with the 2 RBI single back in the second, but Owens has flew out to center field his last 2 times up. The pitch, curveball, good pitch from Landman. On the outside corner, 1-2. It buckled the knees of Ackerman. Casserly stands on third. Donald Ring on second for the Scouts. The Jazz lead 5-3 here in the top of the 8th. The 1-2 pitch, curveball swung on and missed, strike 3. Ackerman slams his bat with his hand. He goes down on strikes. 1 down. And now, Caden Owens to the plate. Came through last time he was in this situation. With runners on second and third in the second inning, Owens hits the 2 RBI single. Boy, could the Scouts use that again. 5-3 Richmond here in the 8th. 2 on, 1 out. The pitch to Owens. Hard ground ball. Foul down the first base line. Oh, we jumped on that one. 0-1. Owens steps out. Taps his cleats together. A deep breath now back in from the left side. Landman sets. The 0-1, curveball in there for a strike in the outside corner, and that curveball is really working for Billy Landman right now. Caden Owens down on the count, 0-2. Got to be sitting curveball here. The pitch, fastball off the outside part of the plate, 1-2. Oh, Owens almost went around. Owens settles back in. Landman takes the sign from the catcher, Cruel. The 1-2 pitch, curveball, skied high on the infield. Check looking for it, settles under it, makes the grab. 2 down. And now it's up to Ange Bourgeois to savor this inning for the Xenia Scouts. Runners on second and third with nobody down in the 8th inning for Xenia. Ackerman strikes out. Owens pops out to first base. And it's up to Ange Bourgeois. Casserly on third. Donald Ring on second. The Scouts trailing 5-3 here in the 8th. Bourgeois 1 for 3 today with a single back in the second inning. The first pitch. Curveball. Misses. 1-0. Misses somewhere. I'll tell you what, folks. That was a good pitch. That pitch maybe missed high. No, that didn't miss anywhere. That pitch misses high and away, 2-0. So Bourgeois catches a break, and he's ahead in the count, 2-0. A hitter's count against Billy Landman. Landman allows the walk and the double, trying to get out of a jam. Donald Ring represents the tying run on second for the Scouts, down 5-3 here in the 8th. The pitch, fastball high and away, 3-0. The Scouts threatened in the 7th last inning. 2 on with 1 out, and Lambert lined into the double play. Now second and third with nobody down. Bourgeois takes a ball low, a 4-pitch walk. The bases are loaded for Francisco Wandina. So Billy Landman, who'd only walked 1 batter all year in 13 innings, walks 2 Scouts here in the 8th. And in steps Francisco Wandina. Wandina 0 for 2 today with a walk. He struck out swinging his last time up in the 7th. The 5'8" lefty. Looking to make a difference here in the 8th for the Scouts. The first pitch, fastball high, ball 1. Kyle Cashley on third. Donald Ring, the tying run on second. Ange Bourgeois, the go-ahead run on first for the Scouts. Francisco Andina up at the plate. The bases loaded. The Scouts down 5-3. The 1-0. Fastball catches the outside corner, 1-1. Andina, a .217 hitter on the year. Has 4 RBIs. 3 doubles for Andina. And like I've mentioned, most of his hits are line drive slash bloopers out to right. If he can get one down the line here, that would sure help as he takes a ball low, 2-1. And I say that because the right fielder, Jack Holden, is still playing pretty far off the line. Not as deep as he was earlier, but pretty far off the line. Anything down the line for Andina would score 2. A base hit to the outfield might score 2. The 2-1. Curveball drops. Whoa, just misses. 3 balls and 1 strike, and the crowd here at McBride Stadium doesn't like it. Andina head in the count 3-1. And a walk here would score Castley and make this a 1-run ball game. Landman now in the windup. The 3-1 pitch. Fastball just misses. Off the outside corner. A bases loaded walk for Francisco Andina. Gets him his 5th RBI of the year. And the Scouts are down by 1, 5-4 here in the 8th. Ben Beachy now to the plate for the Scouts. And I can't tell you how many times Beachy's been up with the bases loaded this year. It's more than you would think. It's over 5. The one that comes to mind is a 2 RBI double a couple weeks ago that gave the Scouts a lead. Beachy 1 for 4 today. Singled his last time up in the 7th. 2 outs here in the top of the 8th. The Scouts trail 5-4 to the Richmond Jazz. The first pitch to Beachy. Curveball in there for strike 1. The bases loaded for Ben Beachy. The 0-1 pitch. Another curveball outside, 1-1. The curveball has been Landman's go-to pitch here. Beachy stands in from the right side. The 1-1 pitch. Fastball misses outside. 2-1. Scouts trail 5-4 here in the 8th. Bases loaded, 2 outs. The 2-1 to Ben Beachy. Curveball just catches the inside corner, 2-2. And boy, is that a tough pitch to hit. That ball coming right in on the front shoulder of Beachy just broke at the last second. Now the count's even at 2-2. The 2-2 to Ben Beachy. Curveball just misses inside, 3-2. And that barely missed hitting Ben Beachy. A full count now. A walk scores the tying run. Ring on third, Bourgeois on second, Andina on first. The payoff pitch to Ben Beachy. Fastball fouled off behind the plate. 3-2 stays the count. And with the count full with 2 outs, all the runners going for the Scouts. So a base hit by Beachy is going to score 2. 5-4 Jazz lead, top of the 8th. The base is loaded for Xenia. The 3-2 pitch to Beachy. It hit him. It hits Beachy on the front shoulder. That'll tie the game. Donald Ring scores from third. A bases loaded walk and a hit by pitch with the bases loaded. Give the Scouts 2 runs here in the 8th, and we're tied at 5. And now we'll have a visit to the mound, and Billy Landman is going to be replaced here in the 8th. The Scouts getting things done. 2 runs on actually only 1 hit, 3 walks, and a hit by pitch. Billy Landman, who had only walked one batter all year, walks 3 in the 8th inning. Also hits the batter, and we're tied at 5 here in the top of the 8th. Aaron Takis is going to be at the plate for the Scouts. And like I said before, he's the one you want up there today. 3 for 3 with a walk. We're going to step aside just for a few seconds as we get the new pitcher. We're tied at 5 here in Richmond. Back here in the top of the 8th inning in Richmond, Indiana. A 5-5 tie between the Xenia Scouts and the Richmond Jazz here in the top of the 8th. The Scouts with the bases loaded and 2 outs as Ben Nelson, the new pitcher for the Richmond Jazz, comes in. A sidearm lefty tries to take care of Aaron Takis, who bats from the left side. So this matchup really favors Ben Nelson. Nelson from VCU, 7 appearances thus far for the Jazz. The first pitch to Takis. Catches the outside corner, strike 1, and boy, that pitch was slow. Changeup on the outside edge. Nelson, a 7.36 ERA in 11 innings pitched. Now the 0-1. Line drive, base hit, right field. Have a day, Aaron Takis. 1 run scores. Owens coming around. He slides in safely. It's a 7-5 ball game. The Scouts lead here in the 8th. And excuse me, that is Francisco Ondina sliding in safely. Aaron Takis has his 4th hit of the day, and the Scouts lead 7-5 here in the 8th. And in steps Jordan Lambert for the Scouts. 4 runs here in the 8th inning for Xenia, and a 7-5 lead. Billy Landman comes on in the 8th, pitches 2/3 of an inning, gives up 2 runs, and, well, make it 4 earned runs now, as those runs were his. As Lambert lines one in to right center, but that ball is going to be caught by the second baseman, Wilson. That ball just died in the air. But the Scouts get 4 here in the 8th. They lead 7-5 as we head to the home half. You're listening to Xenia Scouts Baseball on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. the bottom of the 8th inning we go here in Richmond, Indiana. A 7-5 Xenia Scouts lead after 4 runs in the top of the 8th to give them the 2-run lead. Cole Parks leads it off for the Jazz here in the bottom of the 8th. He takes the ball high and away from Caden Owens on in relief for the Xenia Scouts. And I'm guessing the plan here for Owens is to pitch the last 2 and close this one out. That pitch misses low and away. 2-0 to Parks. Cole Parks, 0 for 3 with a hit by pitch today. Caden Owens, the lefty on the mound. In to close it out. The 2-0 grounded up the middle. Base hits just past the glove of Caden Owens. Cole Parks gets his first hit of the day. And in steps Mitch Wilson for the Jazz. Caden Owens on the year, a .87 ERA in 10 1/3 innings pitched. He's only given up 1 earned run in those 10 1/3. 4 walks, 17 strikeouts for Owens. The key pitch, the big looping curveball. Now Mitch Wilson steps to the plate. The first pitch to the lefty, fastball, fouled off, 0-1. Wilson, 0 for 2 today with a couple of walks. He struck out the first victim of the starting pitcher, John Kopicki, in the first inning. He walked in the 3rd, he walked in the 4th, and he flew out to Ondina in center his last time up in the 6th. Now the pitch. The runner going. Ackerman's throw to second is wide. Cole Parks steals his 6th base of the year. That curveball was low to Wilson. The count's 1-1, and Cole Parks is at second. The tying run and Mitch Wilson at the plate for the Jazz. Wilson, despite struggling today, a .347 hitter, the most hits on this Richmond Jazz team. He's actually now tied with Andrew Check. Wilson had 33 hits coming in. Andrew Check had 31. Check has 2 hits today. Wilson is yet to pick up a hit. They both have 33 hits on the year. Caden Owens. Lets up the leadoff single. Now Cole Parks steals second. Mitch Wilson at the plate. Wilson bats from the left side. No batting gloves on the hands of Mitch Wilson. Owens checks the runner, the 1-1. Curveball in there for strike 2. A filthy pitch from Caden Owens. And the count's 1-2 on Wilson. Owens takes the sign from his catcher, Chris Ackerman. The 1-2 pitch. Curveball swung on and missed. Caden Owens gets his first strikeout of the afternoon. 1 down here in the 8th. And Cole Parks still at second for the Jazz. And now in steps Daniel Sepik for Richmond. Sepik, 1 for 4 today. A double his last time up in the 6th inning. The line shot down the third base line that went off the glove of Aaron Takis. Owen sets the pitch. Parks taking off for third. Ackerman throws down. Takis applies the tag, and Parks is safe. Oh my, Aaron Takis apparently misses the tag at third base. Takis arguing with the field umpire that Parks came off the bag for a second and he left the tag on. Manager Bubba Cates is going to come out and argue. I'm not sure if the pitch was a ball or a strike to Daniel Sepik. Either way, Cole Parks, who had 5 stolen bases coming into this one, picks up his 6th and 7th stolen bases of the year. He's one of the only Richmond Jazz players that actually run. The Jazz are last in the league when it comes to stealing bases, with only 12 on the year. Cole Parks now has 7. The team as a whole has 14. Now Sepik Facing off with Owens. Owens the lefty, Sepik the righty. The pitch. Fastball. Skied high. Infield pop-up. Ring doesn't see it at first. Coming in, he makes the grab. Oh, that was scary for a couple seconds. Ring shielding the sun finally makes the catch. And there's 2 down here in the 8th. So despite giving up the leadoff single to Cole Parks, Caden Owens 1 out away from getting out of the 8th. Parks steals a couple bases. He's on third. A 7-5 lead for the Xenia Scouts here in the 8th. And the all-dangerous Andrew Check to the plate for the Jazz. If you're Richmond, you wouldn't have anyone else up there but Check. The pitch, curveball, high, 1-0. And I'll tell you what, if you're the Scouts, though, this is the guy you want on the mound. A lefty-on-lefty matchup. The curveball fooling people thus far. Check 3 for 3 with a hit-by pitch today. The 1-0. Curveball low and away. 2-0. And I'll tell you the other thing. I don't think you would mind walking Andrew Check here. Up by 2, so Check would be the tying run on first. Bill Krul on deck. He's 1 for 2 with a couple walks today. He showed some power with the double earlier. Now the 2-0 pitch. Fastball swung on and missed. And boy, Andrew Check swung for the fences there. With the short porch 311 down the right field line. Andrew Check could easily hit one out of here. The 2-1 pitch. Fastball line drive into left field. Base hits. Andrew Check is 4 for 4 today. An RBI single, and it's a 7-6 ball game. Check picks up his 29th RBI of the year. And this is something. We have 2 4 for 4 hitters today. Andrew Check on the Jazz side, Aaron Takis on the Xenia side. And they both reached base all 5 times as well. Takis 4 for 4 with a walk. Andrew Check 4 for 4 with a hit by pitch. And it's 7-6 here in the bottom of the 8th. The first pitch to Krul, swung on and missed on a fastball. 0-1. Krul bats from the right side. 338 hitter. An RBI double back in the 3rd inning that scored Andrew Check from first. The Scouts lead 7-6 here in the bottom of the 8th. The pitch, curveball, strike 2 at the knees. Good pitch from Owens. Bill Krul, the junior, behind the plate today for the Jazz. The 0-2 pitch. Fastball line drive, base hit right field. Casually in right, fields that ball and chucks it in. Andrew Check holds up at second, and the Jazz have something cooking. 2 straight singles off the bats of Check and Krul, and that brings up Eric Connor for the Scouts. Xenia still leads 7-6 here in the 8th. Eric Connor today 1 for 4 with an RBI single. The pitch, curveball, low and inside. A good block by Ackerman to keep it in front. 1-0. Eric Connor, the RBI single came back in the 2nd inning. He flew out to right in the 3rd, and he is struck out his last 2 times up. The 3rd victim of John Kopicki, and then the only victim of Michael Pineda O'Donnell. The pitch, curveball low, 2-0. The Scouts score 4 runs in the top of the 8th to take a 7-5 lead. The Jazz won't go away. 1 run on 3 hits here in the 8th. And the Scouts lead 7-6 as Ackerman goes and talks to Caden Owens on the mound. Owens has only given up 1 earned run all year. He gives up number 2 today. On an RBI single from Andrew Check, who now stands at second. He represents the tying run here in the 8th. The 2-0 pitch to Connor. Fastball, ground ball toward Beachy at short. It goes under the glove of Ben Beachy. Andrew Check is going to score. And that one might be an error on Ben Beachy. That will be an E6. And we are tied at 7. Beachy wasn't sure how to play the hop off the grass. And the ball goes right under his glove. We are tied at 7 here in the 8th. And it has just been a straight dog fight here today in Richmond. Bubba Cates out to the mound. The whole infield in as well for the Scouts. 2 down here in the 8th. And boy, there was 2 down with only a runner on third for Richmond. Now 2 straight hits and an error by the shortstop Beachy. And the Jazz have scored twice to tie this ballgame at 7. Around the Great Lakes League, for those of you who are wondering, only one other game going on. It's in the Northern Division. Nothing that affects the Scouts until tonight. The second place Steam and the third place Copperheads play each other tonight at 6:05. That's the one to keep an eye on. The Jazz sit at first place in the Southern Division. The Scouts in 4th, but only a game and a half back of Richmond. In steps Jordan Gillerman for the Jazz. He bats from the right side. The first pitch from Owens. Fastball, low and inside, 1-0. Gillerman 0 for 4 today. He's flown out to every Scouts outfielder. A fly out to Jordan Lambert in left in the 2nd and the 7th innings. A fly out to right in the 4th, a fly out to center in the 5th. The 1-0 pitch, curveball, in there for a strike at the knees, 1-1. Gillerman, a .276 hitter on the year. Struggling today with the 0 for 4 outing. He's a very patient hitter. 12 walks on the year, leads this Richmond Jazz team. Now the 1-1 pitch. Curveball in the dirt. A good block by Ackerman. 2-1. A walk here would load the bases for Jack Holden, who had the solo home run his last time up. He sits on deck. And Holden is 3 for 3 with a walk today. So if you're Owens, you want to get Gillerman right here, right now. The 2-1 pitch, fastball, deep fly ball left center field. Ondina retreating, and it's gone. A 3-run home run off the bat of Jordan Gillerman. His 3rd home run of the year. He was 0 for 4 today. And the Jazz lead 10-7. Gillerman's 16th, 17th, and 18th RBIs of the year. And the Scouts, after taking a 7-5 lead in the top of the 8th, give it right back. Now the first pitch to Jack Holden. Curveball in there for a strike at the knees. Holden 3 for 3 today. A couple of singles and the solo bomb. The pitch, curveball, swung on and missed, strike 2. Two down here in the 8th. A 10-7 lead for the Richmond Jazz. The pitch, 0-2 curveball, hit him on the front foot. Caden Owens, very uncharacteristic today. Very uncharacteristic. And that brings up Brad Burkholder. We were down to 2 outs here in the 8th. The Jazz hadn't scored a run yet. Cole Park stood on third. An RBI single from Andrew Check, a single from Bill Krul, an error by Ben Beachy, scores a run off the bat of Eric Connor, and then a 3-run home run by Jordan Gillerman gives the Jazz a 10-7 lead as that curveball missed low, 1-0. And this was a game the Scouts needed in the Southern Division. First of all, in the series with the Jazz, they're 2-3 on the year as the pitch. The curveball that time finds the zone, 1-1 to Brad Burkholder. So when it comes to tiebreakers in the Southern Division, it's going to come down to head-to-head matchups. And the Scouts had a chance to tie the Jazz today and gain a game and only be a half game back. The curveball, low and outside, 2-1 to Brad Burkholder. And now, trailing 10-7. The Scouts are going to need a miracle in the ninth. The pitch, line drive, foul ball, 1-2. Burkholder, 0 for 4 today. He did reach base on a fielder's choice. He does have an RBI on the ground out, on the grounder, the fielder's choice ground out. Ackerman blocks that curveball low and outside. Ten to 7. Richmond Jazz lead over the Xenia Scouts here in the bottom of the eighth. The life has been sucked out of the Xenia Scouts dugout. And you can tell on the field as well, this team was 6 outs away from a victory. As Owens' pitch misses outside, ball 4. And now there's some confusion. Caden thought it was a 2-2 count, so did Ackerman. The umpires had 3-2, and it's going to be a walk. Burkholder walks in the top of the order back up for the Jazz. Cole Parks up. He singled the lead off the inning. Now the first pitch to Parks. Fastball misses outside, 1-0. We have not seen this from Caden Owens all year. He has been lights out on the mound. And unfortunately for him, the error by Ben Beachy, which would have got the Scouts out of the inning, as that fastball misses high, 2-0. Cost Owens a couple earned runs. As before, if Beachy makes that play at second, the Scouts are out of the inning with only 1 run scored by the Jazz. Now the 2-0 pitch, swung on and missed off speed outside. 2-1. Owens a deep breath. The lefty sets, 2-1 pitch, swung on and missed. Fastball high, 2-2. The Scouts down 5-3 coming into the 8th. They score 4 runs in the top half of the 8th inning to take a 7-5 lead. The Jazz have struck back 4 runs here in, 5 runs here in the 8th to take a 10-7 lead as Owens' curveball misses low, 3-2. And now if you're Caden Owens, you just want to pitch a strike here, get out of this inning. Jack Holden on second, Brad Burkholder on first for the Jazz. The 3-2 pitch, fastball outside and away. And the bases are loaded again for Richmond. Caden Owens showing some frustration on the mound as there were 2 outs in this inning and a runner on third, and it is just spiraled. Ackerman and Bourgeois out to the mound to talk to Owens. Got to be telling him, just get this one, man. Get this out. Let's get back in the dugout. 10-7 obviously is possible for the Scouts. They just put up 4 in the 8th. A hit here might make it a 5-run ball game. Mitch Wilson to the plate now. He struck out earlier in this inning. Caden Owens' only strikeout of the inning. Now the pitch. Fastball. Gets away from Ackerman. Wild pitch. And the throw from Ackerman sails down the first baseline. The runners will hold. Jack Holden scores. 11-7 Jazz. Brad Burkholder moves to third. Cole Parks moves to second. And the count 1-0 on Mitch Wilson. And this inning could not have gone any worse for the Xenia Scouts. Owens now sets the 1-0 pitch. Curveball high and in, 2-0. And now Caden Owens just doesn't have it today. One of the best relievers for the Xenia Scouts, Owens along with Landon Williams. The 2-0. Fastball line drive, base hit, right field. One run will score. The other runner held up at third. That is Cole Parks. Runners on the corners, 2 down for the Jazz, and now a 12-7 lead. And now in steps Daniel Sepik, who flew out to Donald Ring at first earlier in this inning. And now Bubba Cates is going to make a move. He points to the bullpen. And I'm trying to figure out who is coming out of the pen for the Scouts. A 12-7 Richmond Jazz lead here in the bottom of the 8th. The Jazz have struck 7 times here in the 8th. And I believe that is Zach Wallace. Owens will jog back out to right field. I am 95% sure that is Zach Wallace on the mound for the Scouts. 2 down here in the 8th, so he only needs to get 1 out. The Scouts will be back up to bat, down by 5 in the 9th. We're going to step aside just for a couple minutes while Wallace warms up. You're listening to Xenia Scouts Baseball on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. Back here in the bottom of the 8th in Richmond, Indiana. Runners on the corners for the Richmond Jazz. Daniel Sepik at the plate. Zach Wallace on in relief for the Scouts, down 12-7. First pitch, skied high, shallow center field. Bourgeois ranges back, makes the play. So Zach Wallace comes in and does his job. 1 pitch, 1 out. But boy, to say the damage is done is understating it. 7 runs here in the 8th by the Jazz. Give them a 12-7 lead as we head to the 9th. You're listening to Xenia Scouts Baseball on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. To the ninth we go here in Richmond. Kyle Casserly leads it off for the Scouts here in the ninth inning. A 12-7 Richmond Jazz lead as we head to the ninth. And boy, both teams get their biggest innings in the eighth as Casserly checks his swing and goes. Count 0-2 on Cass. The Scouts get 4 runs in the top of the eighth inning to take a 7-5 lead. And then everything fell apart. 7 runs for Richmond in the bottom half of the inning. Give them a 12-7 lead. 12 runs on 15 hits for Richmond. 7 runs on 11 hits for the Scouts. And 1 critical error by shortstop Ben Beachy for Xenia. The next batter, Casserly now, skies one. Foul territory, third base line. Gilliman, the shortstop, ranges all the way over and makes the grab. 1 down. The error by Beachy, if he makes the play, it would have ended the inning. Instead, the next batter, a 3-run home run by Jordan Gilliman. If Beachy makes that play, we got ourselves a 7-7 ball game. Now the pitch to Donald Ring. High, ball 1. 1 down here in the ninth. The Scouts trail 12-7. Ring 2 for 3 with a walk today as he takes a ball inside. And I'm just trying to see. It was 7 runs on 5 hits for Richmond as Ring takes a ball low, 3-0. 1 error. They left 2 on base. Now the 3-0 pitch in there for a strike at the knees from the pitcher Ben Nelson. The Scouts need 5 runs here in the ninth to tie it. Now Ring fouls that one back, 3-2. The Beachy error was the only error of the game for Xenia. They were playing excellent in the field. Now Ring goes down swinging on an outside pitch. An off-speed pitch, on the outside corner. 2 down. Ben Nelson gets his first strikeout of the day. And in steps Ackerman now for the Scouts. The first pitch to Ackerman outside, ball 1. So Nelson came in. He did let up a 2-run single, but the runs go to Billy Landman, who allowed 4 earned. Now Ackerman line drive, caught by the left fielder, Burkholder. A huge comeback win for the Richmond Jazz. A 12-7 victory over the Xenia Scouts. 12 runs on 15 hits for the Jazz. They left 12 men on base. 7 runs on 11 hits, and Xenia leaves 8 on base. No errors for the Jazz. 1 for Xenia. And there's really no words for what just took place here. A 7-5 Xenia Scout lead heading to the bottom of the 8th. The Jazz explode for 7 runs of their own in the 8th inning, and they get a 12-7 victory here in Richmond, Indiana. The Jazz are now 9-4 at home this year. The Scouts fall to 7-6 on the road. More importantly, the Richmond Jazz stay in first place. 14-9 on the year. The Scouts fall to 12-12. So close to getting within half a game of first. Instead, the Scouts now 2.5 back. And boy, does that feel like a big difference. Still 17 games to play this year, so plenty of baseball to play. Talking to just some of the other people around the league, if you're within about 3 games of a playoff spot, with going into that final week with 7 to 10 games left, you're in it because you play these divisional opponents a couple more times as you head down the stretch, and you basically control your own destiny if you can get some wins. And that's what the Scouts have to do. Just keep fighting, stay in the division race. We've been in fourth pretty much all year, but like I said, 4 teams separated by a game and a half coming into this one. The Scouts now 2.5 back of the Jazz. The Steam and the Copperheads set for first pitch about an hour from now, so that's a game to keep an eye on. The Steam in second place, the Copperheads in third. But as long as the Scouts can stay together as they have been, the Scouts playing some very good baseball after starting 2-6. I'll tell you what, after starting 2-6 to go 10-6 since, I would take that. If you were to tell me we'd be 12-12 after starting 2-6, I would have taken it in a heartbeat. The Scouts have battled all year long, and they will continue to battle throughout the year. Just to run through the numbers one more time, 7 runs on 11 hits for Xenia. 12 runs on 15 hits for the Jazz. The Jazz left 12 on base. The Scouts left 8 runners on base. Caden Owens takes the loss for the Scouts. Ben Nelson comes in and gets the win for the Richmond Jazz. The Scouts will be at Hamilton, at the Hamilton Joes on Tuesday and Wednesday. A 7:05 first pitch on both of those days. Andrew Alex will be back with me at 7:05 on Tuesday night, as we'll be on top of the roof in Hamilton, bringing you that game. The Jazz defeat the Scouts 12-7 today here in Richmond. I hope everybody has a blessed rest of your day, and we will talk to you on Tuesday.